Nuclear tech friends. Let's take a look at some of these fuel fabricators and these plant builders and parts makers. And we're starting it off with Bwxt. And yeah, so this is the monthly chart. And when you look at it, you say, okay, well, it does get these mighty dips, that take out this 50 EMA. We're still a long way away from there. So, I'm looking at this 80 level as something that could be interesting. 85, 86. But this is not abnormal behavior for the stock. And if you look at the life of the stock, it's fantastic. Yeah, this is the COVID, right? Most likely, it's not. So this is probably COVID. Yeah. So I mean, it had a big drawdown 2 years before that. So it's just not unusual for names like this that just climb, that they just get these relief. And this is all this is. These big monster dips, and they're pretty sizable dips for this name. Um, it's just relief to reset the chart so it can then again leg up. So you see that almost every single huge dip created a leg. You got some sideways here, but that's about it. So it has lost its anchored VWAP. It's lost the 200-day moving average. It's lost its monthly 12 EMA ride. It's continuing to make monthly new lows. It's stair-stepping down. It's a weekly downtrend confirmed with a bunch of follow through. Again, once again, I'm expecting a bounce here on this as well, right? So, and I think the result of the bounce is going to be obviously a lower high compared to this level up here, which is what? I don't know. 129. I'm expecting a bounce to come back, at least back up into this area, into like the 108 area, where it should get knocked down again. But that doesn't mean it's going to. Anything can happen. But judging by this monthly chart, and if you've watched my videos for any amount of time, I talk about the moving averages. I talk about when they get stretched, whether it's to the upside or the downside, they like to reconcile. Look how much this thing got stretched. Okay. And it brought these EMAs back into reconciliation where they're trading tight again. So it's probably going to want to do this again. If the dividend was better, I mean, it's not the greatest dividends, 25 cents for $100 stock. It's nothing special to me, dividend wise. That's what it's doing, and I would say that I think these moving averages need to just get tightened up again like this. This is the look that you want to finally see, and it could take months for that to occur. So no rush for me on BWXT. I'd rather again try to catch the right side of the V, right? So you catch the right side of the V, you can make some good trades. You have some spots to mitigate risk. You can take some off the table and make sure that your level holds. Once it doesn't hold, you can stop out and basically turns out to a break even or a small profit trade, however you manage your risk, right? So then you don't get caught in that. Right? That's what buying the right side of the V gives you. Buying the right side of the V gives you this. Buying the left side of the V gives you that. So it's a common theme in equities markets in general. It just doesn't have to hold true for uranium. But as you know, commodities love to trend. This one lost its trend. So now it's going to be trending down for a while. We got to see how long that takes, right? So ASPI on a daily chart, I think I've posted it multiple times. I don't want to lose 4. We lost 4, but we're chopping around in that area. So not a great look, not a horrible look. It's just building a base here, right? So when the trend is up, okay, let's just say let's work off of here, okay? Starts the trend, you start to get these reversals. The consolidation is the key, right? What happens after this consolidation? Well, it made a new leg up, right? So now you have a lot more confidence. Now we're buying the right side of the V, right? makes another piece of consolidation, and this is, I'm not talking about ASPI, I'm just talking about in general with equities. Another piece of consolidation, the more likely scenario in something like that is to leg up, right? So when you're in an uptrend and you consolidate, it makes sense. It's more often than not, you're going to leg up again, right? So you're buying the right side of the V. You're buying this consolidation, you catch the move, right? Then you have more consolidation again, right? So then what happens? We lose it, right? So now we're doing the same thing. Now we're losing it again. Now we're on the left side of the V. You have your consolidation, gets a great bounce, but it legs down again. So we have another piece of consolidation. Where's it going to go? Is it going to leg down? Well, the more likely outcome of consolidation is to just continue on with the trend. The trend is down. You get the consolidation, good chance that it trends down again and legs down again into this area. So I watch for this, right? So this is why I'm saying I don't buy the left side of the V. Any buys in here are losses unless they were traded through a little bit. For those who can't really trade, they don't have the time, they don't want to, they don't have the patience, they don't have the skill, they don't have the desire. You just wait for the right side of the V to start working in your favor, because when you buy the right side of the V, really good things can happen. When you buy the left side of the V, bad things can happen, right? So um, that's the way I'm viewing it. Just as far as support is concerned, and look, again, another Head and Shoulders. It's just the common theme in the sector, and I would venture to guess in a lot of, not even in our sector, other names, right, growth names and whatnot, are probably showing some potential Head and Shoulders patterns, especially on the longer term chart. So it this is confirmed monthly downtrend. Um, Let me just see something here. Let's get a little bit more clear of a picture. Yeah, confirmed monthly downtrend, no follow through, right? But you get the weekly, and I'd say there's some follow through. So the buyers are stepping in, they're wicking it, right? So just judging by the behavior of this stock, if we're getting a lot of wicks, there's a chance that there's going to be a bounce, right? So wait to see what the wicks look like. Wait to see the daily make the trend change, which it hasn't, right? So it's low, high, higher, low, sideways. So it's in an EQ. It's starting to tighten up a little bit. I'm just gonna give it the chance. Let it do its thing. Uh, I feel like there's no reason for me to get in front of any of this stuff personally. Um, but you do you. So that's ASPI. I really wanted it to hold 4. It didn't. So now I really wanted to hold this level, which is I don't think is a lot of in the way of support. So I think your support is down here. So we could see $3 again, judging by this chart and the way it's starting to act and the way the sector is acting. So that's the way I'm viewing it right now on that bad boy. What have we next? LEU. Let's take a look at Centris. So another just a waterfall, right? So I want to look at the monthly first and see what it's doing. So again, value area. I've talked about this value area many times over the course of the past couple of years with LEU, and I even talked about this one that was inside. So it's just back testing the breakout of that area. From a longer term perspective, that's what it's doing. So 50, what is this, 60, 58, 60, whatever it is, right? Somewhere in this area at this box, we just don't want to get back into the box because then you're just going to be in sideways chop. And with LEU, I mean, this thing went sideways for a long time, 2 years. There were some great moves in here, right? So even these EQs can make a lot of money. And just as an example, especially with LEU, you get it fast. So, say you bought somewhere in this area and then you sold somewhere in this area. Well, you still made 100% inside of an EQ. It's a 100% move, 30 to 60 basically. Right? So this, which looks like absolutely nothing, is a double of your money inside of this value area, inside of a 2-year long sideways piece. Pays to be able to do some trading, and on something like this, that 100% move took 6 months, right? So if you buy these little things, and you might have a chance at it, right? So to me, this is just the same deal. Like when I talk about this stuff and trending and whatnot, right? So you have your move, you have your consolidation sideways. The most likely scenario is the next leg up. That's what it looks like it's starting to try to do. So it gets a little bit of leg up, breaks out of this value area. Let's get some sideways action for the next leg up. So LEU looks pretty good. It's a good looking chart, especially on a monthly basis. So that's the deal. But yet, quite the little waterfall. But it's if you know your instrument, like I know LEU, I just know it does this, right? So when's earnings? May, yeah. Earnings is always a crazy time with this name, so uh, it's a tough one. But low risk longs here, trading well above the 200-day moving average. LEU, which I knew it was going to, but LEU looks absolutely fine from a longer term perspective, and really from a shorter term perspective, because there's a really solid, you're wrong, price levels over here. So take that as you will. LEU looks pretty good, and that's why Nukes is probably looking better because it's hanging in. Ltbr, I've been following this and covering it for the past couple of years and months. I've been tighter on it now lately because I've been saying that the behavior is changing on the stock. And what is changing about the behavior? Well, it's still sideways, but looky, look at that. Okay, there is a change in the name. There's no question. The name has a change. There is volume here. There are people and entities that are buying this stock. It's that simple. And there's massive amounts of bull volume and much lower amounts of bear volume. It tells a story. Volume tells a story, right? So the high volume bull days get a ton of volume, right? This one's a little wonky, but prices. So I think there's a change in LTBR. And fundamentally, Clay Montgomery's all over this thing. He likes them too. They have this MOU with OKLO, so that's probably part of the equation with LTBR. So, I'm paying a lot more attention to this name going forward. It has potential to be a much better play than, I don't know, most of the mining plays that are out there, in my opinion. I wish the option chain got better. I would like to see a bit more liquidity in the stock itself, but I'll deal with what I got to deal with here. So LTBR, if you really take a really much longer term perspective in the name, it's kind of a crappy chart. And just from that alone, you sit there and go, well, it still hasn't done the work it needs to do to get away from where it's at. But there's a lot of potential for a pretty good move on this thing. The float hasn't changed much through all of this, so there's a lot to say that this could be a relatively high performance vehicle. I could be completely wrong on that. I'm just noticing that there's a change in the behavior of the stock from the long term perspective. So I am absolutely continuing to watch this name, continuing to trade it. Possibly continuing to accumulate, well, not continuing, possibly accumulating, especially if I get some good downdrafts. All right, but another one that is trading above its 200-day moving average. Has a daily trend change, showing a little bit more follow through, still rejecting on the daily 12 EMA. Better look. Okay. Again, this is why Nukes is doing better. than the other ETFs. NNE, Nano Nuclear, it always takes a minute to switch over for some reason. Nano, again, a daily trend change as well. This is a young name, so the data here is not the best. But it's just, this is consolidation, healthy consolidation, trading above the 200-day moving average. Weekly is the look that we have to deal with right now. Possibility of a weekly head and shoulders. The float on this thing is nasty. Usually have to give it more room because of that. But there is that possibility, again, to see that. It could be a while, right? Doesn't mean it has to play out this way, but it's there. It's above its 12 EMA. The 5 EMA is crossing over bull, the 12 EMA, and it's got a daily trend change with a little bit of follow through. It's a very good look for a reversal here, right? And there are clear levels to work off of on the name. So pays to pay attention. That's all I'm gonna say. OKLO never got to my well, it did get to my 60 target, and then I said 70 because we're in blue sky breakout. Nice waterfall drop. Again, like, why buy the left side of the V when you can buy the right side of the V? So as much as the bounce was great, 15% move on Friday, it didn't do a thing to the chart. So it's a sideways deal. Again, a low risk situation. Again, trading well above the 200-day moving average. The weekly is, it's bouncing in the area that, from a technician's point of view, is where it should start bouncing, right? This is becoming the value area. Volume profile tells you that as well. So that's the deal there. It has not gotten a daily trend change yet, so sorry about that. LTBR is actually outperforming a bit here against OKLO. Sorry, I had to cough there. A little bit of allergy thing going on. SMR had a great day Friday also, right? Up 15%. Again, but it's still not doing much. You barely got your daily trend change. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, I mean, it's the daily higher low is set now at whatever this number is. Let me just click it. 1509, and it got a little baby daily trend. I can't even say that it did because I think these guys breached the low. What is this low? 45, 40. Yeah, so I mean, I guess you just have to reset it from here. Low, high, higher low, higher high, no follow through. So there's a little bit of a trend change going on here. Again, LTBR is of this group so far is looking the best. Weird to say that. Same thing with UUU. So weird to say those things, but a little bit of a trend change here. In the very short term, the big bounce that we got on Friday on these names didn't do much to change the chart. It's helping. It's showing that there's work. There's a possibility of being able to buy the right side of the V here. There are clear levels nearby where it's low risk and cheap to find out you're wrong, because if we lose this, it's coming down into here, right? That's just the way it is. So SMR is looking better. I always like to bring that up. I don't know. I'm going to always leave this here. If you know, you know. So nothing to say. The first red flag, I guess, was losing this level, but it's SMR. It trades weird. I don't have it figured out yet. It's dancing on its 200-day moving average. So NNE, OKLO, LEU. What the heck was the other one? What am I saying up here? Wherever it was. Not Bwxt. Those guys are trading above their 200-day moving average. It's better. It's a better look for them. than SMR, right? So it's dancing around it. It's holding it, but there's more strength. There's more strength, and the 200-day moving average, by the way, is this white line. So if you look at OKLO, it's well above, right? The same thing with NNE. I think it was pretty well above. Yeah, it's just starting to populate the moving average, but look how far above it is. So they're still there, on a relative basis in the longer term scheme of things, especially moving average wise. It's those other names are stronger than SMR. So that's it on these guys. I think there's another one. I'm gonna have to update this stuff. MIR is another one. If you're not following that guy Christoph on Twitter, he's a good source for this stuff. This guy he knows his stuff with these builders and whatnot. So you're probably missing out if you're not following him. I love guys like him because he does a lot of fundamental work for me, so I can stick more time with the chart. So yeah, a trend change here, a daily trend change with no follow through. Still riding on the EMAs, trading above its 200-day moving average, bounced off of it. But yes, a weekly downtrend with follow through. Monthly is going to be looking for a higher low to either confirm the downtrend or not. So we'll see. I think that's it on this stuff. Yeah, that's going to be it on these builders for now. I got to repopulate that list and maybe add some more stuff to it. But yeah, okay. LTBR the strongest in this subsector, along with Oklo and NNE, and then SMR after that. So over and out.